So, Nikki, we're going to continue because we've had to use the freebie Zoom spy machine that wants to know what the humans are saying, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So we ended with this whole performance thing, that it's not just stage performers or celebrities that are performing, it's the everyday human being, whether they imagine themselves to be an expert or a nobody, a coach or a client, a this or a that. It's that is the cult programming, isn't it?
It
And
is.
I'm owning it, and I think you're owning it as well. I don't know how to speak out. I wasn't trained to be an influencer or a speaker or an expert. I am, like I've sometimes said affectionately and jokingly on Facebook, the cosmic child heart is now claiming their life for the first time to insist upon freedom for my children's generation, if not for me. And I will use my bloody voice as if I was a child that is newborn. I will use my bloody voice, the non-knowings as well, because it's impossible to convey everything that's going on. But we've never really spoken out about the things that the authorities do, or whoever it is that thinks that they are the authorities on the planet. So let's go back to this feeling, Nikki, like you were saying, like it's all a performance. And even you as an opera singer, I might imagine, like, she won't have a problem bringing her voice to the task in hand.
No, I'm heavily blocked. I noticed it the other day. I thought, you're blocked. It's like even when I sing, I'm in a lot of pain. People don't realise because I was just blocked.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a word that I can't stand, that influencer.
Yeah.
You get all the influencing what? So it's
Yeah.
been set up, hasn't it? It's been set up that if you are like, if you are somebody who's going to speak out, or you're in the public eye, you are going to get vilified for that. So they've set it up right. You might have millions of pounds and all that because you're now a star and people look up to you, but
Yeah.
you've sold your soul, and you have to be a certain way, because if you speak out, you'll get brought down. So it's almost like if they've set up a system that if you are somebody who does speak out, be prepared to be brought down, because you've got to be brought back down to the ground, back to where you belong, that kind of thing. So it's like it's a con, isn't it? It's just a set of distractions. And even those, they've been conned. They've sold the soul. They keep telling us you sell your soul to the devil, like these, and it's like it's true. And people go, oh no, it doesn't happen that. Yes, it does. On a lower level, it's happening to all of us.
Yes.
But no matter what, once you've signed a contract for a job, you are owned by that person who is getting you to do that job. It's ownership all the time. As soon as you're born, your birth certificate, that's it. You've sold your child. Basically, your child is now owned by the state, so they can technically do what they want with your child. If they decide to take it off you, that's it. Tough, innit? You just got to comply, stay in line, do as you're told, get yourself in lots of debt so that you've got to get the job to then pay it off, to get the house, oh my word, it's just an endless mess. It's an endless mess, and it's just unbelievable. I listened to something today, whether this is true, I don't know. We listened to lots of different things. There was someone in New Zealand who's there's a big 200-page thing that says basically that you'll own nothing and be happy, how they will now take your house off you. Because the councils will declare themselves bankrupt, which is just starting to happen. And then there's something in all your small print that says basically that they will want their payments back. And if you can't pay that, because you're there to help the council, government, whatever, because they own you, if you don't pay that back, I could have got this wrong, I'm just trying to say it in layman's terms, they will then take your house off you.
Yeah. And they already have with some, haven't they?
Yeah. So you'll own nothing. So everybody's holding on to all these things they think they have, but actually they've got nothing unless they find their own power and start taking responsibility and start fighting back. And how do we get to that point?
Yeah, totally, Nikki. And thanks for bringing it up like that. I mean, it's like, this is the bit that pisses me off. You will own nothing and be happy. They're making it sound like a future event. And my voice says we didn't own anything from from childhood, nor did our families, our lineages, our ancestors. We didn't own anything, and we certainly have not been happy. So, you know, take your motherfucking lie away from my face, and
Yeah.
we'll actually be the ones to describe what's going on from now. We will speak about it, whether we succeed or not, because it's all this. It's really hit me this morning, Nikki, about that they make it sound like it's a future event.
Oh, they make it sound like it's great for humanity. Oh, look at this, you know, you'll have your carbon, this, that, the other, you'll have this, that, the other. We'll make, you know, they're making it out that is this just going to be the best thing for us all. And that is the biggest con, isn't it? And you've got people who are saying, yeah, it's going to be brilliant. They're happy to live in AI, they're happy to be chipped, they're happy to like be totally controlled. They don't, you know, they don't care about the vaccines. It's just that's what you do. You just have them, you know, and
Yeah.
just,
yeah, what about the ones like us that don't want to have genetic experimentation any more than we received at childhood, and sort of are awake like us? Like, I would say, well, I don't even want to use that silly phrase anymore, awake. Determined to investigate all the lies, I'm now going to say.
yeah.
There are so many people talking a talk about protecting nature, protecting the planet, aligning with nature, aligning with the natural, aligning with the organic. And I started to root through more in some of those people. And I've seen them on, you know, on planet Earth for a long time now. It's not since 2020. And of course, in naivety, I was feeling like, oh, thank God, there are some people that really get it on this planet and they're doing their best. They're doing their best. And my current working theory is, oh my God, they've been positioned. They've been positioned to completely deceive nature this, nature that, plant trees here, plant trees there. And everyone's going to start trusting them. I mean, I'm not going to name names in this conversation between us, but I will describe what I've been witnessing about a project that's all about planting trees. Just one of them, because there are many that are all about planting trees whilst the planet is also being set fire to for decades as well, etc. So this project and the people that seem to be at the front of the project, I looked deeper into them, and then I found that they are totally pushing the United Nations sustainable goals, and that they are bringing in and attempting to manifest a cyborg future. But they're also using that kind of, you know, these, when we talk about programming, like, oh, it's the feminine empowerment, it's the women's circles, it's the indigenous ones that are leading the way. And when I dug around deeper, oh, look, you're connected to the United Nations sustainable goals, one world order, agenda, blah, 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 that people are starting to come to terms with is actually not okay. You haven't consulted, we haven't consented, we didn't know anything about it. You're doing it behind closed doors as ever since we're children. And how do we begin as the ones that aren't harming anyone? And that's the majority of humanity, is not harming anyone.
Yeah,
How
true.
do we begin to speak with one another when some of these that appear nature loving, appear women's circles, feminine empowerment, brotherhoods, this, are working for those that wish to continue their enslavement of us, because they are seen as the higher humans currently, higher than you, Nikki, higher than me, higher than our children, blah, 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 blah. And they won't be wanting to speak with us because they're already been given status as nature loving, tree planting, freedom fighting, circles of beautiful beings of love and light. You know,
they've got the worth. They've been given their worth. So
yeah,
what I was thinking as you were saying that is that we're continually looking outside ourselves, that somebody else has the answer. So they're putting these people in these places to go, oh, it's them. They're sorting it out for us.
Yeah.
They're fixing it for us. And all this stops us looking at ourselves. So I feel the last few months, it really has been like, there's no escape now, Nick. You can't go on your little adventures. You can't live in your little, like, la spiritual land with your mission to do. You're just going to sit with yourself. And everything is designed to never sit with yourself to say, well, what can I do? Because we can't trust what is deception, what is lies. It's a pack of lies around us.
Yeah.
And people are going, well, they're planting trees, so I'm all right now. So I can just go out and have my nice little day because they're doing it. Somebody else is sorting out the problem. And it's us. It's like you speaking out and me speaking out and whatever. And like I said, connecting, because people are good. You know, there aren't people around me that are trying to cause trouble or anything like that. We're all in it together. We're all being shafted together. That's what I've worked out. All of us. That lady, she's going to lose her husband in like 2 or 3 days. You know, poor thing. She don't have a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
But she's going to lose her husband. It's going to be devastating for her. We're all in it together. We're all being shafted every single day, and we need to stop looking for others to sort it out.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same, Nikki, and I think I've expressed about it on Facebook, but you know, because we're like two live living humans in the live living moment here, I want to say this again. I mean, it's like, yes, it's almost like if we really want freedom and sovereignty, it's like we have to undo the programming, blah, 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 but also bring out our voices, but also challenge everything we're seeing, witnessing, and hearing. Because I've called myself out several times. In 2007, which was a year after my son was born, I was shitting myself. I felt like I can't see what they're going to do on this planet. I can't see it. It's, you know, it's such a mess, and yet I feel like I'm alone and I can't speak to anyone. So I started rooting around in these intentional communities and nature-based things and da 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 da. And again, like you said, they're positioned on the stage, so it's like sniff, sniff, sniff. Oh, here you go. So I was investigating them. I was trying them out. I was turning up at them. I was experiencing them. Then I started to root around in the people that had set them up, and I kept going backwards. This is the key. I kept going backwards. What was the original intent, and who was the one that set it up, and what were their intentions? It is all behavioral engineering. It is all social engineering. Now, the kind of character I am, I don't want to be engineered anymore. I've already done 53 years being engineered, thanks. I don't accept to be engineered further. So that's how serious and urgent it is as I feel it. And obviously I've got kids, so perhaps that motivates me even more. I can't, in all honesty, leave this planet having not done whatever to give the next generation a chance of not being so mind controlled by AI or influencers or whatever. And as you said, it's like the whole system is designed to look out and think, oh, thank God that intentional community started with their trees and their organic veg and their water cleaning or whatever. But that itself is a con as well. And that's so frightening. You know, I'm owning it. It is terrifying and disgusting and very upsetting, you know?
Yeah.
So
what then? You know,
yeah, what to do? I don't think we're at the solution point.
I mean, this is what I do on a personal level, but I'm just, you know, and I've got a lot of power, I know that. But what am I doing? I'm singing for people in a way that's for the people. I'm being real. I'm telling my story. I'm not just standing there like a nice singer and what have you. And it's connecting to people. And I'm saying how difficult it is at times and how I get scared, all this kind of stuff. So I'm sharing that story.
Yeah.
I'm starting to grow my own vegetables.
Yeah, ditto.
On in it. I'm refusing to support any cashless places. I'm speaking out when I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm having to also at the same time, I can't just go full throttle with people. You know, it's like I have to find a level. It could be like I just said to that lady today, I said, have you both had the vaccines? I said, because I know they've been causing a lot of heart problems and strokes.
Yeah.
And that's all I said. I couldn't go like, oh, just let you know that this is part of the, you know,
the new world order.
Yeah. Like I can't I can't do that full throttle all the time. I'm connecting more to nature. I mean, what else can I do? I'm just I don't, what can I do?
Yeah, you see this,
No?
I think this is precious, the question, what can I do without necessarily having to answer it immediately? What can I do? Because for me, I asked the same questions and I, like you said, used my power to put it into action. I went into schools to speak. Yes, I had the police called. Yes, everyone vilified. Yes, it fucking hurt. It still hurts. Like you said, all guns blazing, whatever. But it's, I don't feel I can afford to sort of manipulate and manage and perform myself into the correct way of doing it. I'm just going to have to keep going because, like you, I've spoken to people in the street, in the shops, with one's family, da 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 da. And like you said, not necessarily going, they're killing us, but saying something really simple, like you said, which is actually really fucking compassionate. Like, did you have because I think they're causing a lot of problems. It's like we can do loads. We can do loads.
Mm.
It doesn't mean, I think the difficulty for all of us as human beings is we're expecting to see an immediate result because that's the programming as well. You do it and you get the result.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is I do see more and more people, realizing what's going on. I mean, if you think about it, I started to realize in 2016 when I moved to London and I was busking somewhere and this guy got chatting and he told me about the Illuminati and all
Yeah.
the going on. And that was the first time I'd heard of it. I knew the system was wrong. I'd left the opera house, but I didn't know any of that. And it kind
Yeah.
of opened my world to it. But to
Yeah.
be honest, it felt so dark after a while, I couldn't handle it. I wasn't ready to totally accept. And then, in 2020, when, the life I had just went overnight and most people are just happy that they're getting furloughed. And like,
Yeah.
it really pissed me off that people are like, well, I'm furloughed, I'm this, that, the other. And I think, well, you hadn't lost your fucking life, did you?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you didn't lose everything that you'd like worked for, and that was it, gone overnight. And I don't know. I'm wondering, as people do start to realize more, how far will it go before people, will it take it? Will they, when they start taking people's houses from them?
Yeah.
So, like, even though people are dying, people are still not putting two and two together to think that could be the cause. It's like the cultish program is so deep that they could, you say to someone, they say, well, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Who's doing it? Who is it? Who's doing it? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
We're having a nice life here. It's like you make your own choices. You decide and all this. I've had friends who've said that to me. You can decide how your life is. No, we can't. No, we can't. We're in this prison planet from birth.
Yeah.
But people are, if you think now, the ULEZ thing, people are fighting back more, but it's what is going to be done and how are we going to fight back? That I don't know. I've heard people say, oh, we've already won. It's just playing itself out. But I don't believe that anymore. It's like you said about the goddesses, this, that, the other. I'm over all that now. I'm over it. It's like I no longer, I don't want to sit in circles. I don't want to whatever. I don't want to sit, Lord, this is a safe space to be you are. But as soon as you walk out of the room, you're no longer safe because like we don't give a shit about you really. We just want your £50 for that day. So you can come and like whatever. I'm just, I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's got, the shit has got really real now. The
Yeah.
spiritual world is another con. It's another
Yeah.
con. It's another
Yeah.
form of washing.
That's it. The circles, the spirituality, the nature, the conscious community, all of the con. And I don't know yet who of them who are delivering it understand that they're being puppeteered or whether they're getting a reward for puppeteering. Because yes, we've got those ridiculous circles of the goddesses and the new age is coming. But at the same time, I'm also looking at these intellectual influencers that do TED Talks and they speak about nature and human consciousness. It's everywhere. It's like, oh my God, it's so big. It's
I
so big.
know. I even heard today about nano particles that they put in these vaccines that we've all had since birth that just stay in your body. It's like an aluminium that just stay in at any point. It can just, it's affecting you all the time, and all dementia and all that. I mean, it's just, oh God, it's just go on forever, couldn't we? It's a bottomless pit.
It's a bottomless pit.
Everything is a sham. Every single thing around us is a sham. Everything. So where do we go from here? That's the thing.
Well, yes. I mean, my personal feelings are doing what we're doing, which is speaking out as best we can, which is offline and online, and to whomever, whether they can hear it or not, whether they can understand it or not. That is a major part of it for me. Drawing attention to the fact that, I mean, this is real about like consent and not consent and free will and non-free will. If the influencers and others haven't sat down in a room with an individual human being and said, we want to do this to the planet and you, is that okay with you? And you don't get a chance to say, no, that's not okay with me. You won't be doing that. Let's work something else out. Then there's a perpetual violation of the free will and a perpetual assumption and a taking of the human birthright to understand what's going on and what we're consenting to. And none of us have ever fully understood it, even though we felt there's something wrong from birth. Because obviously we've got the sham, like you said, of politics and status and celebrity and the money system. So I think it's majorly positive to even get to this place that we can say out loud, this is a sham. It's not going to be repackaged as a spiritual thing, which is, well, it's all an illusion. Because why are people wanting to carry on in charge of this planet, meddling with nature, which is a physical and material life forms, like we are physical and material life forms? Don't tell me that you think it's an illusion. You don't, because you are trying to control a physical and material being. You are trying to control trees, nature, waters. So don't talk any more bullshit to my face, because I'm going to speak my language now and keep investigating.
Yeah, that's it.
Stopping.
No, it's another language, right? And I know that my language, I've come with another language, has not been understood. And I can see, because now the way I'm singing for people and whatever, people are getting where they're more ready for it. So things that I couldn't say before, I can say. And it's almost like I do feel people are searching. And I remember that's the point I started at. I knew something wasn't right. I started to busk. I saw people being miserable. And it activated something in me to say, there's something not right here, is it? And it's taken years to get to whatever. But people are, they're tired of fake. They want real. They're relating, like somebody put, I'm not trying to gratify myself at all, but somebody put in my book, it's one of the best live things I've ever seen. And it's because I am real. I'm so honest and real. And somebody else said, oh, I paid a fortune to go to Verona, but I much preferred your show. And it's because I am so truthful about the profession and how it is and my fight and this, that, the other. And people are looking for something. They are. I think we can turn around and say, oh, people are not getting it. They're not. But there are. We're not living in the world we lived in 10 years ago with people where, like my grandma, just accepted what was given to her. That was it. That's what you do. Package life. I mean, package life. It's just so dull, isn't it? A package life. That's what we've come at. It's like we've come to live a package life. So you're born, you get jabbed up with whatever they tell you've got to have. You're born into artificial, like in an artificial environment of a hospital. There's nothing natural about that. In America, you have to pay extra to hold your baby. If you want to hold your baby when it's born, you have to pay extra
Oh my God, I've never even heard
to
that.
hold your baby, because it's just a money maker, isn't it? You know, everything's a money maker. You know, I had people when I lived in America, if anything happens, don't call an ambulance because I can't afford it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems even worse in the States than it is on this tiny island. And, you know, friends of mine that know what's going on, that live in different areas of the world, you know, they are not mincing it when we speak. They are not mincing it. They're not falling for the fake language. But like we've both said, it's like, what next? And we just have to carry on. I really feel it as individual sovereign beings, sort of coming round from having been drugged from birth, like, you know, like they do those, what are those, that thing, you know, what is it when they call those, they put a dart in a wild animal to take them from the wild to the zoo.
Oh gosh, I know what you mean. I'll have to, a tranquilizer.
That's it. We've been tranquilized at birth.
Yeah.
We're coming round from the tranquilizers and we are not happy and we are roaring and we are going to roar. I don't think we're at the solutions bit yet. This is the solution. We are the solution.
I always see it like the Wizard of Oz in the field of poppies. Most of the people are still absolutely comatose in the field of poppies, no idea what's going on. And then others of us who have like woken up and gone, what the hell is this? What is this? And that you know, we're just fast asleep. Like you said, from word go, you just put into a coma.
Yeah.
And you're programmed in a way to never use your intuition. You know, it's like people are thinking about where they're going to live before they've even got pregnant, so in the right area for the school. You know, because they need to get ahead. It's about everybody getting ahead, not functioning from the heart to like help others and work together. But then, like you said, the people who are supposedly helping are working for the agenda as well. So where do we go? It's like you're continually going, where do I go now?
Yeah.
Like, who do
what
I
do? Yeah.
How can I do this? How can I navigate myself through this day and cope with what's going on and cope with like the Truman Show every time I leave my house?
That's it, Nikki. And when 2020 hit and I thought, oh my God, everyone is just waiting to speak about what they've experienced and know that they're going to birth a real free existence, I kept calling it the liberation era. And I felt really quite happy at the beginning because I didn't think it would be this difficult. I really didn't think it would be this difficult. So for me, it's like I've had to really go for my self-inquiry as well as all the shit that's like outside, which is I am going to identify and speak about everything that's wrong on the external. I'm not sitting here meditating. That's you know, I do that, but it's like that's not the raison d'etre. I will speak about the external, but the self-inquiry bit was, what are you going to do with your free will, Morven? What are you going to do now that you've claimed your sovereignty? You know, and that is a live and living everyday thing, isn't it, Nikki? Like, according to what's happening. And for me, I'm committed to contribute and participate in what I call the liberation era. And we have a potential for it. We definitely have the potential for it. I don't know if we'll succeed or not. I'm not interested in the success part of it. I'm interested in the doing of it.
Well, success is just another thing, isn't it? You know, success is in this realm is linked to money and status and what have you. That's success, isn't it? It's not attributed to listening to your intuition and speaking out and following your heart. If anything, it's like, you know, don't do that because who are you? Who are you? Come on. Who are you? You do not matter. You know, if you've got millions in the bank, you matter. So it's you know, the way I look at it as well, I can just work on being me, deprogramming myself, working through the, you know, if I've got pain in my body, opening up, speaking out more, not just having the courage to do that. That's a massive thing. And it encourages others. So from my concerts, it encourages somebody else to speak out. Even with my partner, he's so much better than he used to. I don't go to supermarkets anymore. I told my neighbours, I don't go to supermarkets anymore. I don't trust what the food that's in there. There's not really any food in there. It's things like that. And even my partner said, yeah, I'm eating a lot better now. I feel a lot better. It's all these low level things that we can do. I said to that woman today, I've not had any vaccines. I won't have any, you know, and just things like that. What else can I do? I'm not going to plant a million trees.
Yeah, we do what we can. And I have planted trees via the so-called finances. You know, I've been donating to stuff all my life. It really is pissing me off now because people are being funded to tell lies, funded to bamboozle people, funded to keep everyone in a coma or tranquilized or subdued. And, you know, just before we stop, because we've only got a few minutes left, when one thing that I really wanted to communicate out loud was how difficult I found it to speak out with my own voice and my language from 2020.
Yeah.
How difficult I found it, despite the fact that I have been a stage performer from very early on in life, like you have, Nikki. Buskings, stages, recordings, whatever's, tourings. It was so painful. It hurt me like fuck. I felt like I was in PTSD. I felt I didn't have a right to speak. I felt it was pointless to speak. I felt I was a nobody. I felt that I had to get it right, what I was saying, or somebody was going to attack me, arrest me, do something to me. This is what it feels like when the programming comes up and how to just keep going. So I felt like this, Nikki. You know how you and I, as musicians, serfs who are musicians, you know how when we're alone prior to 2010, we would be in a room alone, like you'd be doing your scales and arpeggios vocally, and I'd be doing them on the violin, and we'd be rehearsing, and we'd be perfecting, and da 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 until you go on stage, and the stage performance wouldn't necessarily be like the rehearsal. I decided, Morven, you must do your rehearsal out loud now. You can't wait until your voice is perfect to speak. You can't wait until your tone of voice is right, or your energy is right, or your message is right. You must learn on the stage now. You must do it nakedly, ugly or not ugly. You must do it. And that is the thing that matters more to me. And if I could seed a future, it is that one.
That's what I'm doing. When I get on that stage, I'm so naked, and I tell people what's going through my head, this,
Yeah.
that, the other. But totally understand. This is a massive thing for me to speak out now, because the majority of people I deal with have no idea of my views, and I commend you for having that courage, because I will probably later on gaslight myself. I'll probably go through a whole journey of, oh no, I shouldn't speak out. What will people think? You know, because we live in a what will people think world. And
Yeah.
I will do that to myself at the same time, knowing that I need to speak out, because enough is enough now. You know, I've got to the point where that persona is not working.
Yeah.
Now. And it's like you reach a limit and you're just like, I cannot actually do it anymore. I've got to speak out. I've got to speak out. There's no option anymore. You know?
Yeah, and Nikki, I think the preciousness of what you shared with me, I don't know if it was a week ago, when we both were really uncensored and we're not fucking trying to perform or pretend or fake anything. When we both said we'd spoken out in a larger group because we wanted to, we'd connected with other people and we spoke together. That after it, we felt utter PTSD feelings. We felt the program come in that said, you're talking bullshit, you're talking nonsense, you spoke too fast, like we couldn't, so the program. So, but this is so precious because this is how we allow ourselves to go on, because we're going to have to go through this pain.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of, and we're doing nothing wrong by claiming our voices and feeling how fucking much it hurts and how much the program will try to stop you.
Yes, absolutely. It's designed to stop you, isn't it? And as I sit with pain in my body now, I'm tired of that pain, and it's because I'm not speaking out, and I'm not being who I really am. I'm being my program self and not myself.
I love that, Nikki.
You know, and I need to be myself, whoever that is.
Yeah, and Nikki, I'm really grateful to you that first of all, that you exist on this planet, and I feel like that about all of us that have not done harm on this planet. I'm grateful we exist. I'm grateful we're claiming our voices and our sovereignty. It isn't easy. It does feel awful. You know, we can put a word on it like we've got courage or confidence, but it just feels awful. And I'm really grateful to you for being you, speaking out, being real, being naked. I know how painful it is because I'm finding the pain too. And I'm really
Yeah,
grateful, Nikki.
me too. It's been really good to chat. Part of me was like thinking, oh, I'm not as wordy. I'm not this, that, the other. I did that to myself. I
Yeah,
can't do all the words. And what if I can't speak about anything? But it's like, I just know. I don't need to hide behind all that. I know.
yeah.
I just know. And that's all I need to know.
Yeah, we're going to self-allow ourselves to continue in a manner such as this.
Yeah.
Nikki, thanks
Yeah.
so much. And thank you so much to everyone for listening. And we will continue with this sort of thing. And I hope other
Absolutely.
people do as well.
Absolutely. See ya. I won't say have a good day because we know all that. All right then. See ya. It's not
Bye,
possible.
Nikki.
See
I'm
ya.
going to stop the
Bye.
recording now.
Bye.